Have you ever faced a decision so personal, so complex, that it felt impossible to get right? For many seniors, choosing where to live as they age is exactly that kind of decision. It's not just about picking a house or a location. It's about navigating emotions, family expectations, and the need to maintain dignity and independence. Did you know that nearly 90% of older adults in the USA, they want to age in their own homes? Yet many find themselves moving in with family or into care facilities when circumstances change. Before we continue, friends, I kindly ask you to subscribe to my channel. It only takes a second for you, but for me, it's an extra motivation to keep creating videos. I'd also really appreciate a comment. Thank you for your support, and now, let's continue with the story. Imagine this. The home you've built over decades starts to feel emptier, quieter. Perhaps you're managing fine, but your family begins to worry. They mean well. They want you to feel supported, cared for. The offer comes. Why don't you move in with us, Mom? It'll be easier for everyone. It sounds like love, doesn't it? But for some, that choice can come at a cost. Take Mary, a retired schoolteacher from Iowa. She had always been independent, the kind of woman who loved tending to her garden and knitting blankets for charity. After her husband passed, her children suggested she move in with her daughter's family. Mary thought, why not? She imagined warm dinners with her grandkids and lively conversations that would fill the empty spaces in her heart. At first, it felt comforting, but little by little, Mary noticed changes. Her daughter insisted she stop driving. It's for your safety, she said, taking away the keys that Mary had held for decades. Mary's morning walks to the park were replaced with offers to just rest at home. Her quiet afternoons knitting were interrupted by suggestions to try new routines or take on tasks that weren't hers to do. Once, when Mary asked for time to visit an old friend, her daughter frowned, saying, "Do you really need to go all that way?" It wasn't cruel. It was subtle, almost invisible. But Mary began to feel like her independence was slipping away, one small moment at a time. Do you see yourself in Mary's story? Perhaps not entirely, but maybe in glimpses. The quiet fear that your decisions are no longer fully your own. For many seniors, this is a difficult balance to strike. Staying connected to the people you love while preserving your own identity and freedom. It's a dilemma many face but few discuss. Independence isn't just a preference. It's a cornerstone of happiness and health. Studies show that seniors who maintain control over their lives are more likely to feel fulfilled and less likely to experience depression or isolation. Whether that means staying in your own home or exploring senior living communities designed to foster friendships and autonomy, the key is choice, your choice. But is there a way to balance independence with the love and care families want to provide? Could the solution be simpler than we think? Let's take a closer look at this question next. Independence is a deeply personal thing. For seniors, it's not just about where you live or what you do. It's about the little choices that make up your day and give you a sense of control. But what happens when those choices start to slip away, often in ways so subtle you don't even notice at first? Take Jack, a retired mechanic from Pennsylvania. For decades, his garage was his haven, a place where he restored old cars and found peace in the hum of machinery. When his daughter convinced him to move in with her, Jack thought it would be an adjustment, but he didn't anticipate how much he'd miss the rhythm of his old life. His tools, once symbols of his independence, sat unused in a corner, gathering dust. One day, his daughter suggested they clear out the clutter. "Dad, you don't need all this anymore," she said, trying to help. But to Jack, it felt like she was saying he wasn't needed anymore. This gradual erosion of independence is a common story, but it's not the only one. For some seniors, family support and personal freedom can coexist. Consider Ellen, a retired librarian from California. After a health scare, her son offered to have her move in. Ellen, fiercely independent, hesitated, but instead of pushing, her son listened. Together, they made a plan. Ellen would keep her mornings for herself, spending them in the garden or reading, while afternoons were for family time. By setting clear boundaries and respecting each other's needs, Ellen found a balance that worked. Stories like Ellen's remind us that independence doesn't have to mean isolation. It's about finding ways to preserve what makes you feel like yourself, while still embracing the love and support of those around you. In the United States, the idea of independence is practically sacred. It's tied to the American dream, a belief that through hard work and determination, you can carve out a life that's entirely your own. But this view isn't universal. In many cultures, multi-generational living is the norm, with seniors at the heart of the family. These differing approaches highlight an important truth. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. What matters is finding what works for you. So, how do you strike that balance? One key is communication. Being honest about your needs and setting clear boundaries can prevent misunderstandings. Another is to focus on what you bring to the table, whether it's sharing stories, teaching skills, or simply being present. Independence isn't about doing everything alone. It's about making sure your voice is heard and your choices are respected. As we move forward, we'll explore practical ways to maintain your sense of self while embracing the support of those who care about you. Because sometimes, the answer isn't about choosing one path over another. It's about creating your own. Let's look closer at how to make that possible in the next part. Family relationships are built on love and care, but when it comes to senior living arrangements, even the most well-meaning intentions can feel overwhelming. For many, the challenge lies not just in finding a place to live, but in ensuring it still feels like home. How do you stay true to yourself while accepting help from others? Consider Barbara, a retired nurse from Oregon. Her career was dedicated to helping others, and she took pride in her independence. When her daughter suggested moving into an assisted living community, Barbara's response was immediate. "I've taken care of myself my whole life. Why would I stop now?" But as managing her large house became more difficult, Barbara realized she might need a change. Her daughter proposed a compromise. Barbara could move into the guest house on her property, a private space with its own kitchen, living area, and garden. At first, Barbara was hesitant. Would this arrangement protect her independence? Or would it feel like living under her daughter's roof? Together, they worked out an agreement. Barbara kept her own schedule and cooked her meals, but her daughter was close enough to help with anything that became too difficult. They even installed a small gate between the properties, so Barbara could maintain her sense of separation. Slowly, she discovered that accepting a little help didn't mean giving up control. It meant finding a new kind of freedom. On the other hand, independence can also thrive in the right senior living community. George, a retired firefighter, had always imagined staying in his home for as long as possible. But after his wife passed, loneliness crept in. His son suggested a nearby senior community that offered more than just housing. It had hiking trails, art workshops, and even a woodworking studio. "I'm not the kind of guy who plays bingo," George joked. But after touring the community, he realized it wasn't what he had expected. George started each morning with a swim in the heated pool, then spent his afternoons restoring furniture in the woodworking shop. He joined a pickleball league and rediscovered his love of chess through weekly games in the common room. He even found companionship with others who shared his passion for giving back, organizing a community fundraiser for local firefighters. "I thought I'd lose my independence," George said, "but I found a whole new life instead." Of course, no arrangement is perfect for everyone. Helen, a retired teacher, moved into a different community, lured by glossy brochures and promises of vibrant social opportunities. But she soon found that the activities didn't align with her interests and the structured environment felt restrictive. Helen's experience underscores an important truth. Independence isn't just about being surrounded by options. It's about finding the right fit for your personality and needs. So, how do you navigate these choices? The key lies in understanding yourself and doing your research. Visit potential communities, talk to current residents, and involve your family in the process. If living with family feels like the right option, have open conversations about boundaries and expectations. Independence isn't one size fits all. It's about creating a setup that feels uniquely yours. As you think about your own situation, consider this. What does independence mean to you? Is it having control over your daily routine, pursuing your passions, or staying connected to your loved ones? These aren't easy questions, but they're crucial ones. In the next section, we'll explore practical steps to turn your answers into action. Whether it's planning for a move or reshaping the life you already have, there are ways to create a future that honors your independence while embracing the connections that matter most. Let's take that journey together. Planning for the future is one of the most empowering things you can do to maintain your independence. While it might feel overwhelming at first, breaking it down into manageable steps can make the process not only achievable but deeply rewarding. Let's explore how others have done it and what strategies you can use to create a plan that works for you. Take Marjorie, for example, a retired artist from New York who faced a dilemma familiar to many. Her beloved high-rise apartment was becoming difficult to navigate, but the thought of leaving her vibrant community and cherished art studio felt impossible. Instead of settling for a less-than-ideal solution, Marjorie and her son got creative. They researched local options and discovered an artist-friendly co-op just a few blocks from her studio. The ground-floor apartment had wide doorways, an accessible bathroom, and a small garden where Marjorie could paint. They also hired a part-time assistant to help with errands and household tasks. By thinking outside the box, Marjorie preserved her independence while ensuring she had the support she needed. Marjorie's story highlights an important principle. Tailor your plan to fit your unique lifestyle. Start by asking yourself, what do I need to feel at home? What aspects of my current life are non-negotiable? Whether it's proximity to a favorite place, accessibility features, or support for daily tasks, identifying these priorities can guide your decisions. For couples like James and Evelyn, the challenge of balancing independence with caregiving can be particularly complex. When Evelyn was diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's, James was determined to care for her himself. But they quickly realized that without help, their relationship would revolve entirely around caregiving. Together, they created a plan that allowed them to preserve their bond while addressing Evelyn's needs. They hired a home health aide for a few hours each day, freeing James to pursue his hobbies and stay active in their community. They also joined a local Parkinson's support group, where they found valuable resources and a network of friends who understood their journey. Their story emphasizes the importance of sharing the load. If you're a caregiver or someone who anticipates needing care, explore the resources in your area. Many organizations, such as the National Council on Aging or local area agencies on aging, offer information about caregiving services, support groups, and financial assistance programs. Then there's Roy, a retired professor who thought he had his future perfectly planned. Determined to age in place, he modified his home with grab bars, widened doorways, and a home office for his writing. But after a fall made climbing stairs impossible, Roy faced a difficult decision. He temporarily moved into a senior living community for rehabilitation and was surprised by what he found: accessible amenities, engaging social events, and a community of like-minded individuals. While he eventually returned to his home, Roy continued to attend community activities, adding a new layer of connection to his life. Roy's experience shows the value of building flexibility into your plans. Even with the best preparations, unexpected changes can arise. That's why it's helpful to explore all your options ahead of time, so you're ready to adapt if needed. Practical steps for planning your independence. Evaluate your current situation. Take stock of your home, health, and lifestyle. Are there physical modifications or support services that could make life easier? Consider mobility aids, safety features, or part-time help for chores and errands. Research local resources. Look into senior-friendly housing options, caregiving services, and community programs in your area. Websites like the National Council on Aging, Eldercare Locator, and AARP can be excellent starting points. Involve your family early. Open the conversation with your loved ones. Discuss your goals and boundaries and listen to their concerns. Together, You can explore options that respect your independence while addressing their desire to support you. Create a checklist. Outline your priorities. Do you want to stay close to family, remain in your current community, or explore senior living options? Identify your non-negotiables, such as accessibility, proximity to activities, or privacy. Test the waters. If you're considering a new living arrangement, take time to visit communities or trial different setups. Attend open houses, speak with residents, and ask detailed questions about amenities and services. Independence isn't just about where you live. It's about how you live. By taking proactive steps, you can create a future that reflects your values and keeps you connected to what matters most. As we move into the final section, we'll explore how to bring all these elements together. From handling unexpected changes to fostering meaningful relationships, we'll uncover the secrets to building a life that's not only independent, but truly fulfilling. Let's take the next step forward. As we come to the end of this conversation, think about this. Your independence is more than just a choice. It's a statement about the life you want to live and the legacy you want to leave. Every decision you make today shapes the story you'll tell tomorrow. Take Eleanor, a retired school principal from Ohio. After her husband passed, Eleanor found herself living in a house that had once been filled with love and laughter, but now felt heavy with silence. At first, she hesitated to let go. What if I don't feel at home anywhere else? She wondered, but deep down, she knew she needed a change. Eleanor discovered a co-housing community where neighbors shared meals, gardens, and even hobbies. The move was daunting. Letting go of the home she'd lived in for 30 years felt like leaving a part of herself behind. Yet, little by little, Eleanor began to rediscover what made her happy. She joined a weekly book club, found joy in morning yoga sessions in the community garden, and even started teaching art classes to her neighbors. One evening, as she stood among friends, watching a sunset from the patio, Eleanor realized something profound. She hadn't just found a place to live. She'd found a place to thrive. This, she thought, is where I'm meant to be. Eleanor's story reminds us that the life you want doesn't always come from holding on to the past. It comes from embracing the possibilities ahead. It's about creating a space where you feel connected, valued, and free to be yourself. Now, it's your turn to ask, what does thriving look like for you? Is it staying in the home you've built, surrounded by familiar comforts? Or is it venturing into something new, where you can rediscover joy and connection? There's no one right answer, only the one that feels right for you. As you reflect on this, consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. What does independence mean to you? How have you balanced staying true to yourself with embracing the support of others? Your story might inspire someone else who's facing the same questions. If you found value in this conversation, subscribe to our channel and become part of a community that's redefining what it means to age with purpose and dignity. Together, we'll continue exploring the choices that shape a meaningful life. And don't miss our next video, where we'll delve into the art of finding joy and purpose in everyday moments. Because no matter where you are in your journey, there's always something new to discover. So, here's to you, to your courage, your choices, and the chapters you've yet to write. Remember, it's never too late to start living the life you deserve. Let's create it together